Hey friends, it's Kalman here. I wanted to share a beautiful Dvar Torah that I heard from Rabbi Foreman about the story where Moshe Rabbeinu saves the Jewish people in this week's Parsha by arguing with Hashem. And this is a concept that we've all maybe heard before. And Moshe argued with God, and that was a good thing. Avram also argues with God, and there are times when it's appropriate to argue with Hashem. Rabbi Foreman points out so brilliantly is that in the text itself, the Torah is clearly alluding to another story, and we believe contrasting Moshe's character with another famous story. So let's go on the journey together. So Hashem tells to Moshe after the Jewish people have started worshiping the golden calf, Lech red, go down. Rashi says, go down, you're no longer so high. Once your people have sinned, you're only there because of them. Because your nation has corrupted itself. It's interesting, the language of your nation, but this language of shichet, corrupted. Every word in Torah is precise. Where else have we heard this language of shichet? So if we return to Bereshis Vav, chapter 6, verse 11 through 12, the Torah describes the generation of the flood, Noach's generation. And the earth was corrupted. 3 times in these psukim, it's using this verb of this corruption. So, by Noach there was corruption, and by Moshe there was corruption. So, is there something else going on here? I mean, the eagle is one sin, it's Avodah Zarah. The flood, we don't know that they were doing Avodah Zarah. So, is there more to this equation? Well, when we think about it, there's the obvious connection between Noach and Moshe. Noach, of course, was told to go into the teva, into the boat, and Moshe was saved from a teva, from a little boat, when he was a little child. So already, maybe the Torah is linking Moshe and Noach's characters. So the story with Moshe continues. Vayichal Moshe in Perek Lamed Bet Yud Aleph. Moshe begins Epnei Hashem, to pray before God. Gemara is not sure exactly what Vayichal means, but he goes on to argue with Hashem. God, why should you get angry at your people? That you took out of Egypt. Interestingly, Moshe throws it back. He says, you took them out, it wasn't me. Maybe a shir for another day. And Moshe argues with God. The Gemara also in Brachos tries to figure out what exactly is the meaning of Vayichal. It's not a phrase that comes up too often. But interestingly enough, it comes up in another story. In the Noach story. In Bereshis Tes Chaf, Vayichal Noach ish Adama. And Noach, the man who was once an Eitz Tzaddik, the end of the story, he gets into planting wine. It seems like he's running away from Hashem. He's running away from his fears, and he's dealing with the sadness of losing his generation in a kind of tragic type of way. In contrast, Moshe is praying to Hashem. He's not being broken by the tragic situation. He is arguing for his people. And now this, I think, is the most amazing connection. So Hashem tells to Moshe, and now, in Lamed Bet Yud, leave me. And I'm going to get angry at them. I'm going to make them a great nation. Hanichali. What's the shoresh of the word hanichali? Nun chet. Noachli. Act like Noach did. What did Noach did when I said I was going to wipe out the generation? He was passive. He said, okay, Hashem, you're the boss, whatever you say, no problem. They deserve it anyway, to be honest. What did Moshe do? He refused. He went on by Yichal and he prayed. And what does Hashem do at the end of that? He says, Moshe says, Shuv mecharon apecha, stop being angry, v'inachem al hara le'amecha, and turn back from the evil that you plan to do to this nation. Have we heard that phrase, nichem, before? We certainly have. In the Noach story, Hashem says, v'inachem Hashem ki asat adam. God regretted making man, ki Ki nichamti ki asitim. I feel bad. I regret having created them, and I want to destroy them. So originally, God regretted, and now Hashem, and Moshe is forcing Hashem to regret his plans to destroy the Jewish people. Hashem writes in Noach, V'yomar Hashem, Emchet Adam, in Vav Zayin. I'm going to erase man. Hashem barat mi al pnei adama. What does Moshe say? V'tayim tisat chatatam, in Lamed Bet Lamed Bet. And if you will continue to punish them for their sins, Mecheni na misfarech, then erase me. Hashem says he's going to erase them. Moshe says, no. Either if you don't erase them, erase me. What chutzpah? And ultimately, that is what causes Hinachem Hashem to turn back al rasha diver lasatima, and not wipe out the Jewish people for their terrible sin. So the punchline is clear. The Torah specifically links the story of Noach into the Moshe story to teach us that Moshe learned his lesson not to be passive. Even when Hashem himself is telling us seemingly that he wants to destroy the world, we have to look past what he says and try to understand what he means. Sometimes in life it seems just like Hashem wants to do bad to the world, but it's our job in life to be chutzpahdik Moshes, to never stop fighting for our friends, for our people, and for fixing the world, for partnering in Hashem, even when it seems like sometimes we're going against Ratzon Hashem. May Hashem bless us to, always talk to Hashem, argue it out, try to figure out the truth. Always be trying to fight out what's the right thing to do. Bezrat Hashem. Bezrat Hashem. We should all have clarity in that fight. Good Shabbos.